and welcome to the Digital CxO podcast. I'm Amanda Razani, and I'm excited to be here today with Sriram Nagaswamy. He's the Executive Vice President of FourKites. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Can you share a little bit about FourKites and what services do you provide?
Sure. Yeah. So FourKites was started almost 10 years ago with the primary purpose of answering the question, where is my shipment and when will it get to its destination? And this is what now in today's world we call real-time transportation visibility. And FourKites created this entire genre of real-time transportation visibility. So we started off with answering those questions, and then we've obviously moved on into orders and now obviously AI and so on and so forth. So so we are more trying to go broader into the entire supply chain and provide visibility in all the processes of supply chain end to end.
Wonderful. So can you share some use cases for your technology in the supply chain and what impact is it having?
Sure. So in fact, as recently as yesterday, right, we had a very, very good call with a customer. So one of the primary use cases that more and more people are definitely seeing a lot of use from FourKites is our disruptions dashboard. So supply chain, one of the constant things about supply chain is that there is some disruption going on somewhere or the other. And, we have a disruptions dashboard that clearly captures all the disruptions, right? Like, for example, it could be the Baltimore Bridge collapse or the Red Sea event that's kind of ongoing where vessels have to route around the Cape of Good Hope to not pass through the Red Sea, Suez Canal. And so these events add uncertainty to a shipper's supply chain because they don't know when the container is going to reach its destination, and they need to take mitigative actions that will ensure that in spite of some of these events happening, how can they make sure their inventory is, on target to fulfill all the sales orders that they have. So these disruptions we provide, as early as possible, all the impact areas that can potentially get affected. And, we call out all the vulnerability zones and their containers or their shipments, which can potentially get affected by a particular disruption. Now, for example, on everybody's mind is the ILA port strike, which could potentially happen on January 15th. So we've already started, surfacing that on the platform, on all the ports that ILA currently manages, and where if shippers have certain containers that are estimated to arrive beyond Jan 15th, they could be potentially affected. So these are some of the use cases. And then, like I said, our predictive capabilities, which is our ETAs, which route to take certain recommendations, basically our ML and AI features, these have been proving very, very helpful for our customers.
From your experience, do business leaders need to be more concerned about disruptions this time of year during the holiday season? Are there more of those during holiday time?
I think there are definitely disruptions, I think, throughout the year nowadays. I think that's more of the norm. The specific reason the holiday seasons, it's way more critical because the impact is a lot larger, right? Like during a quieter season, one container or two containers coming over, it's not going to cause as much of an impact as the holiday season because definitely, during the holiday season, everybody is looking to make sure their inventory is up to the levels that they want it to be. And any kind of disruption there causes, like a huge impact to the organization. And that is the reason, during the holiday season, people are a lot more concerned about disruptions, because that does definitely play a huge, huge impact as, the demand is the highest during this season.
Absolutely. So, one of the biggest technology topics of this year, the past couple of years, is of course AI. So, how does FourKites use AI, and can you describe the impact AI is making?
Sure, absolutely. Um, I mean, just in one word, AI is revolutionary, no question about it. Specifically, Gen AI, we have been on this journey of incorporating Gen AI into our platform for more than a year now, almost 1.5 years is what I would say. In fact, I think it was August 2023 when we released our Fin AI. So it can answer questions, that customers have about a particular shipment, a particular port, a particular facility, any particular asset. So it can gather, data from within their network and present it in simple, understandable English. And that has been a huge hit amongst our customers. And we see the usage of AI on our platform increasing on an everyday basis. And similarly, whether it is internal use cases or external customer facing use cases, we are seeing AI grow on an everyday basis. Very, very clearly, there's a high demand, and both internally and externally. And that is something that, we are, from a customer perspective and from, just from a pure development perspective in engineering, we are seeing that, more and more people on a daily basis are adopting AI for their day-to-day work. And it does make, it has absolutely made our productivity go through the roof. There's no question about it at all. And similarly, like what impact it has had on our productivity, I'm pretty sure our shippers are also seeing a similar impact on productivity on their side using some of our AI offerings, because that's exactly the way we see. And the biggest thing is once you deploy AI to a particular task, it's practically 24/7, 365 days. So that efficiency is just unmatched at this point of time.
So, looking into the coming year, 2025, as this AI advances so rapidly, do you have suggestions as to what IT leaders should be looking forward to in regard to AI and the supply chain?
Sure. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest advantages of AI is going to be that the traditional integrations are going to go away pretty soon. Integrations with external systems are going to get a lot easier, and IT leaders have to. So previously, integrating to an external system, which would be a 3-month or a 6-month project, those can completely vanish now, and it can, any external system of interest, potentially 1 day to 1 week, depending on the readiness. So I think the more and more IT leaders and supply chain firms embrace AI, I think they will see that some of the traditional tasks that they, always feared, right, just because of the complexities involved, those are going to become things of the past. And, so that is going to help through interflowing of data, which would essentially lead to more and more innovation and more efficiency. And I would say that would be the biggest advantage. And of course, like I said, there are certain workflows that, today, that just repeatable tasks, right? Those can completely go away with AI. And AI can take over those tasks, and pretty soon it will. And, this is going to definitely, again, revolutionize some of the supply chain that some of our shippers are seeing today.
Yes, and I'm hearing and reading more about AI being integrated into robotics too within the manufacturing and supply chain.
Right. No, absolutely. That's the point that I stated, right? Like anything that has a repeatable task with a one-off where AI has to make a decision on the fly with context and then just continue that. Previously, what it was just called as robotic process automation, right? Whereas now we're truly moving towards intelligence process automation, where depending on the context, even the decision can be made and the right fork can be picked up. And that is causing the biggest change where, we are very clearly seeing that some of these decisions can very easily be made by AI. And we don't need a human in the loop. I mean, the human in the loop is just to verify the action till the trust in the AI grows. That is definitely going to be 2025.
Well, if there was one key takeaway you could leave our audience with today, what would that be?
I mean, my biggest thing would be that if there is any resistance to AI in any of the organizations, I would say absolutely please embrace AI as much as possible because this is the future. And, having spent about 1.5 years with it, it is going to make a lot of things efficient, but it's not just going to take away systems end to end. And there are going to be human interventions. And I think overall, at the end of 2025, we will clearly see that the people who embrace this revolution will be more successful. And that would be my one takeaway where whether as an internal project or external assistance, that people definitely start embracing AI more and more.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing your insights with our audience today.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
All right, and thank you to our audience. Stay tuned. There's more.